What's up guys, it's the Hunter Project here. Welcome to my channel where you'll find Monster Hunter news, builds, playthroughs and everything in between. Be sure to smash the like and subscribe buttons if you do enjoy. It is extremely appreciated as we make our way to 1,000 subscribers, which I am hoping to hit by the end of this month. And I just want to thank you all so much for the support on my recent videos, especially the one where I go over my thoughts on Elder Dragons, which absolutely blew up. So I thank you all so much for that. And don't forget to join our Discord, link is at the top of the description. And without wasting any more time, let's get right into the video. Today I'll be going over my thoughts of the Monster Hunter Rise roster for the base game. And I'd like to start this off on a positive note, but of course I will be getting into parts where I think they could have improved later in the video. But I do want you to know that I love Monster Hunter Rise. I think it's a fantastic Monster Hunter game, so just definitely be aware of that when I do go over the negative points later in the video, just so you don't get the wrong idea of what I'm trying to say here. And let me know down below how you feel about Rise's roster, as well as how you're finding the game overall. And if you do end up subscribing, watching this video, then let me know down below by commenting #subbed. So jumping straight into it, I think Rise's roster overall is fantastic. There is a large variety of monsters to go through, and it is quite evident that they were aiming for this, considering the lack of subspecies in this entry to the series. And the early to mid game, I think, have an amazing range of monsters to hunt. And this involves monsters from Kulu-Yaku and Great Azuchi to Tobi Kadachi, Royal Ludroth and Anjanath, and of course we've got quite a few newer monsters as well. Those range from monsters such as Bishaten and Somnacants, just to name a few. And I had a blast to get into grips with the Wirebug and going through the beginning of this roster and all the variation they have brought to the game. But then we get to the larger monsters, and I feel like this is where the game begins to lack in that sense. Not necessarily in a very bad way, but it definitely does feel a bit underwhelming, and I don't know if that is because of how much they marketed all the monsters in the title, and maybe that kind of numbed down us having to go through the game and just viewing them again. But it definitely is widely acknowledged within the fan base from what I've looked at. Like, there's a lot of Reddit posts going over the game's roster, and a lot of people I've talked to, friends in real life and even people on my Discord server, it does seem like a lot of people have noticed a bit of a emptiness feel in the roster. But I think a large of that does come from the fact that there's a big shortage of Elder Dragons, and even the Elder Dragons we do get are pretty much very similar in terms of what they are. It's just two serpents and they're different colours. The movesets are a bit varied depending on their type of like an element. And I am well aware that obviously the Elder Dragons are gonna come back. There's gonna be a massive influx of them in the DLC packs to come, so I'm not too worried about that. And of course we do still have a nice range of larger tier monsters like Tigrex, Magnamalo, Gosarag. But even then I feel like there's only like 3 others that I haven't mentioned. And then with the lack of elders, I feel like this feeling is only amplified as we are missing an area of the roster that has been present in every Monster Hunter game in the recent years. However, while it does seem that I am bashing on this roster, I assure you I am not. I still think Rise is one of the best Monster Hunter games to date. One of the best. I wouldn't say it's the best yet, but for a game that's not the ultimate expansion, it's definitely up there. I'd say in my top 3 Monster Hunters. And although the roster is not what many of us felt we were going to get, I definitely think it's an amazing game. And you must take into account that the development of the game was disrupted severely by COVID, as every other gaming studio, and I'd say most companies in the world, were affected. But Capcom was still able to pull off the game fantastically on the Switch, as I think the roster is probably the best problem we could have, as they could easily keep adding monsters on, and they were going to do that regardless anyways. And it could have been even way worse if they had a lot of graphical errors or game engine errors, similar to how Cyberpunk flopped so hard. I think they did a fantastic job with this game's engine, graphics, sounds, mechanics. I'm really glad that they pulled off the Wirebug as well, as I did have a few people tell me that it was going to be a gimmick, and it definitely isn't. I love the Wirebug to bits. Like, it's been implemented so well, and I'm very impressed that Capcom was able to pull it off, especially in a Monster Hunter game. Like, if you told someone that there was going to be this mechanic back when Monster Hunter 2 was out, they would probably think you're crazy, and it probably wouldn't seem like it would fit in the game, but they pulled it off so well. And in addition to that, this is only the base game, as I mentioned previously. and we have many free planned DLCs to come in our near future. And at the end of this month especially, we get our first DLC pack. I'm not sure if we get both DLC 1 and 2, but I think we get at least DLC 1 pack, like the DLC 1 pack that has Chameleos and a few other monsters, and as well as the COVID-free Ultimate expansion that we'll be getting hopefully sometime next year. And considering if it's anything like Iceborne, I think it's going to be amazing, and I think they will probably top Iceborne considering now they have standards to exceed. And I think for a high rank game and for like the base game, they have done a great job with Rise, and hopefully the next 2 free DLCs will fix our Elder shortage and freshen up our end game a bit, which I do think is the area that's a tiny bit lackluster. But I still have strong faith in Capcom to slap the heads off all the haters with the G rank expansion, not to mention the DLCs they have planned. And this does bring us to the end of the video, guys. If you did enjoy, be sure to smash the like, subscribe buttons as we make our way to 1,000 subscribers, and comment down below on the Rise roster and what you think of it. And please guys, do try to respect everyone's opinions of the game, as if anything's too hateful or harsh, I will probably remove the comment or just block you from the channel so you can't comment, because I do want to keep this a friendly place, as I do like to think the Monster Hunter community is a very welcoming and considerate community, especially in comparison to some other gaming communities which can be quite toxic. And don't forget to join our Discord, link is at the top of the description. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.